Whoa, whoa, whoa. Where's September? Okay. Had a little problem. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome back to the vlog. It is Monday at 10 a.m. Have I done a single thing related to work today? No, but that's okay because we are 2 weeks out from submission. Ooh, are we? Like 8 days away from submission. Oh shit. 8 days. Okay. So a couple things need to happen pretty much. Sorry, I'm just deeping that I'm not 2 weeks out. I'm 1 week out, but I was confused because I was just editing a vlog last week and that was 2 weeks ago. Oh shit. Okay, we are 1 week out from submitting my materials for my upgrade Viva. And I really spent an hour and a half doing life admin. Hey God. Okay, let me come back once I've gathered myself. Okay, I'm back. I know what I'm doing a bit more. Stressful. It is Monday the 4th today, which means I had planned in my Zotero in my Notion, I had planned to organize my literature review chapter by going through my supervisor's edits, and that would be on the 7th. That was due by the 7th, okay, which is this Thursday. And then I had planned to, by the 8th of September, have a compilation day where I would compile all the edits into one document, which I've actually already done. So basically the due date that I had planned really, oh shit, okay, Thursday. Thursday is when I need to have my entire upgrade edited, and also Thursday is when I need to send it to my supervisors because they're a little busy. They're a little busy, and I have already sent them my introduction, but I don't know if I'm gonna get edits back on time, and we're getting a little close to the wire because I have to send all the documents a month in advance. I think if it's not like literally a month, then no one will care, but like me, I wanna make sure my job is done and I have sent everything to my supervisors, honestly, by the end of this week. This is a little stressful because the Red Sea is parting, AKA my period, AKA that hoe, is hours away, and I don't know if she's gonna be late because I'm stressed or because I'm going through period stress, but that means that usually I lose a day because pain. Not even pain, I just you just feel gross, right? So I'm a bit worried about that. This is gonna sound ridiculous, but I have a nail appointment on Thursday morning, and now I'm looking at that nail appointment and I'm like, you dumb hoe, why did you put that in? But I mean, they're not too bad. I could go another week. I could go another 2 weeks maybe. I might have to change that. I'm gonna have to change that because I don't think I can. I think I need Thursday because I don't usually work on a Friday. Fridays I have off because I need to keep my work days at a 4-day week because of long COVID. I'm feeling a little stressed because I really came to working today real leisurely. I was taking my sweet time because I really thought I had 2 weeks left. I don't have 2 weeks left. I have 1 week left. So, okay. I don't feel like I can focus here. I feel like I need eyeballs at me. So I'm gonna go to campus and I'm gonna go to the library. Let's go.
Hey, and welcome or welcome back to my channel. My name is Temi and I make videos as a way to document my life for my future self. Right now that means vlogs about my PhD and navigating life in my 30s as a Black woman. If you like the sound of any of that, then feel free to subscribe, leave a comment, like, or all three. Thanks a lot for spending a piece of your day here.
Does anyone else hate this when you have like an external hard drive and you forget to like eject it from your Mac and then it gets angry? I don't really know what happens if you don't eject it. I think maybe if you keep doing it too many times then it'll like get corrupted. So I just closed down my laptop and then forgot to eject it. So ejected, that's happy. Laptop going in. Whenever I take my backpack, people always say I look like a child or like look like an actual like undergrad. But I don't know how you people are out here using backpacks that are not supportive when you've got laptops and stuff in there. Me, I just can't do it. Have to take snacks with me because thinking work burns calories and I cannot be expected to... We have a robot vacuum cleaner and it just, I don't even like it. It's not one of the good ones, but that's what the background noise is. And anyway, have to take snacks with me because thinking work burns calories. When you use your brain, you burn calories. And I am trying not to have chocolate be my snack, basically. But this is not going to be the only thing I have today. I'm just gonna be real talk for a second. I'm a PhD student. I don't earn a fuck ton of money. PhDs are grossly underpaid in the UK, and I'm a part-time PhD student, so whatever the annual we make, which is I think 18,000, I make half of that prorated per year, which is around £800 a month. I have to supplement it with freelance work, which is part of my residency. But I am on a budget, so I'm gonna get probably a Tesco meal deal and call it a day, but I just wanted to say that I have to budget that. I can't just spend £5 or what is it, £3.50 and not budget it because that's the reality. So if you're thinking about doing a PhD, sunglasses, phone, good. Ooh. UK has decided to have sunshine again, which I don't hate, not one bit. Haven't been, dropped my ID. Haven't been to the library, campus library, in a minute. Okay, so I finished at the library. I'm now on the way to co-work with Emily, but I don't do that in the library because it's too loud. I got feedback from my second supervisor as I was editing, which you saw, which was stressful, but he said that it was great and that if anything it's a bit too comprehensive, but I'll deal with that another time. Rather have too much and be able to edit than not have enough. I did also change my nail appointment. So it's 1:30, I'm about to go into co-working with Emily, had lunch, I've read my supervisor's comments. One of the comments that he gave me is basically just that my writing and my literature review in particular, and I think in general, as you go through the process of learning how to write, quote unquote, academically, is in selecting what literature to include, which concepts, or basically what glosses to use in your literature review, and which ones to maybe do just a high level mention and then ignore. I'm making use of a lot of different ideas in my research, so I feel like I have a tendency to be like, oh, I have to read everything, I have to cite all these things which I think are important, and I don't think everything is important. Some things are obviously more important than others. So he just noted that it's great and it's very comprehensive, but basically for my eventual thesis, it doesn't have to be this comprehensive, and that I can be more, not like nuanced, because I feel like that's what I'm trying to say, but that I can be more selective in the literature that I am reviewing and that I'm citing. So I'm almost at the end of my co-working session with Emily. Hot tip, get yourself someone else who's also going through PhD with you so you can both be in hell together. And I actually have been going through the edits that I wanted to make based on one of my supervisor's comments, because my other supervisor didn't really leave me that many comments, and I don't have that much to edit. And I'm not going to edit that much because this is just a first draft of my literature review predominantly, which takes up most of the texts in my upgrade report. And I'm tired and I can't be bothered. So I'm going to do most of a deep edit, and like when it comes naturally to me re-looking at my literature review, re-looking at the scholarship that I'm citing, the scholarship that I'm engaging with. And right now, I'm just gonna focus on getting it down to word count and making sure it makes sense, because I don't have all the days, and well and truly it's above me now. I've gotten here, I've gotten this far, and I can't. I just wanna submit it. I don't wanna think about it anymore. But I'm wanting to say hi to Emily on camera because she's really a babe and she also has a YouTube channel. So say hello. This is Emily. And she helps me when we're both struggling. Both struggling PhD students. Both struggling PhD babes. It's also hot as balls. It is hot as balls, and I'm not complaining because we have not had any sun for, I'm not exaggerating, 2 months. So I'm enjoying it, but I'm not enjoying how my tits are dripping. That's not what I'm enjoying. Okay, so I'm gonna finish this like real rough and dirty edit, and then I think that's gonna be it for today. Put a little too much in. Okay, let's try. Decaf coffee. What an amazing invention. As you can see, once again, we are having a very leisurely morning. Okay, I've had breakfast, taken my multivitamins, made my coffee, and it's 9:30, so we're on track. We had a leisurely morning, no workout today, can't work out every day anymore, or 5 times a week anymore, because I have a chronic illness. Anyway. I came on to say that I wanted to talk to Cameron this morning and say 2 things. First of all, I hope I'm not presenting or misrepresenting myself as someone who is like okay. I am very organized. I'm very organized, and I love that about myself. I have my I's dotted and I have my T's crossed, but I was also trained this way, okay? I used to work in advertising when I first finished my undergrad, and I also was raised by a Nigerian mother. I cannot emphasize how much being raised by my mother shaped the way I think about work. My mother was a phenomenal woman. I don't know if I've mentioned it on here, but she passed away, sadly, several years ago. And she just was someone who would have an idea and she would make that happen for herself. You know, she didn't come from money. She was the eldest daughter. And yeah, she just had a difficult life in terms of like, well, dying from cancer, but also she made shit happen for her. Nothing was ever given to her on a platter. And I saw that obviously growing up. And she also did her PhD, and she just was like, if she wanted to do something, she would make it fucking happen. And I definitely internalized that, sometimes a little too much, because I really be hard on myself sometimes. Many of my friends have pointed this out. My therapist has pointed this out. Many therapists have pointed this out. But my point is that this is nature and nurture. The reason why I think I come across very organized, because I am, but also it has been developed and curated in myself. And so if you're watching, or if anyone is watching and they're feeling, how is she like this? Why is she so organized? How comes I'm not so organized? You too can be organized, but it does take work. And also I'm 34, so this is like multiple decades worth of being this way. Anyway, today it's 9:30. The day has started. And yesterday something exciting happened, because this is the full draft. Look at that thickness of, can you even, do I have to do like a beauty thing? Yeah, this is my upgrade report. We are 2 days from when I said I wanted to submit to my supervisors and say, here, send it off. I don't think about it anymore. And we're so close. We are so close. I might do another video about why this particular, let's say, point in the PhD process has felt so intense for me because of like various things that have happened in my life since I started my PhD. So I actually can't quite believe that I'm getting to the point where I have done the work to be able to submit. So today, what am I doing? I am gonna have my co-working session with Allie, because it's Tuesday, and then I am going to finish editing the literature review chapter of this report. And by editing, I mean that, but also finding ways to get rid of like 2,000 words. And then in the afternoon, I think I'll probably finish that. And then on Thursday, the plan is to just finish the timeline, make sure the references are there, and send it off in 2 versions, in PDF and Word. I can't believe it. It's happening. I also can't believe it because this is about 17,000 words, and like it was a lot of work to get to this point over the summer, but my actual thesis will be 5 times as many words as this, and that is just a bit of a disgusting thought. Okay, so I'm gonna do some work now, and then I think I'm also gonna take myself out for lunch today, because Not everyday poor PhD student. Sometimes still poor, but enjoying themselves at lunch. I'm pretty proud of myself today because procrastination, don't know her. I put some things on Instagram because it's easier than recording. But I have been editing solidly for 2 hours. Editing is my favorite part of writing. It is really the best part. It's really the second draft. Apparently you're not supposed to write and edit because that's not a very sustainable way of writing, which I totally understand. I'll put a link into this document that I have found that is by this very wayward white man, so I don't love that it's by him, but it's actually really helpful. So just like pretend it's not by him and just read the tips. So yeah, I've been editing for a couple hours and this is my favorite part. It makes me feel super close to my reading, super close to my work, and I can see like little parts of where I can expand or extend my thinking or my research or my analysis. But I'm not doing that right now because a bitch does not have time. Anyway, it's lunchtime, so I'm gonna take myself out for lunch and then it will be co-working with Allie time. We're here. We are at the end of the road to upgrade. Today is Thursday, September 7th, which is the date that I set for myself to send off my materials to my supervisors. They've already seen the entire report, and they've given me all their feedback. And yeah, I'm a little bit shocked. I don't know why I'm shocked, because it's not as though I'm not someone who like doesn't complete my goals generally. I will do everything I can to like meet the deadlines that I set for myself. I remember 6 weeks ago when I was like, okay, I've got a whole lot of work to do, because at that point I was just sort of beginning writing my literature review chapter, and it was difficult. I found that really difficult. And sort of time just like flew by, and then all of a sudden about 10 days ago it all just sort of like came together in this one document, and I was like, oh shit, like I've done it, or I'm doing the thing. It's a really weird feeling. The PhD is so disjointed, particularly in the first couple of years, because you're just sort of like sifting around. And obviously I think this might be the same also for people in the STEM fields, but particularly if you are a humanities or social sciences person, you're just sort of like by yourself in the books, in the literature, on Zotero, in the library, trying to find things. Maybe you've presented at some conferences, maybe you attended some conferences, but mainly it's you and your ideas and your Word document. And it's quite difficult to see how it all comes together. So I was sort of remarking the other day, like this is the first time since I started my PhD that all of my ideas are in one place. From sort of like overall contextualizing in the introduction to, you know, my methodological framework and how I'm actually gonna do my field work in the next few months. And then also into sort of like, you know, the literature that I'm in conversation with, and for me also my theoretical and conceptual framework, which for me, I'm a theory babe. That is my favorite part. I have learned how to critique. I'm a critical thinker. I'm a critical internet studies person. And what that basically means is that I look at these concepts of technology and society with more of a critical lens, a Black feminist, interpretivist critical lens, which just means that I think about how these concepts operate in society, how they are socio-political, maybe they're geopolitics, And then I also think through all of those things from a Black feminist epistemological framework. So basically taking Black feminisms and applying that type of liberatory framework to those issues. And my area of concern is this emerging phenomenon called digital intimacy, which is really about thinking how emerging and new digital media are themselves intimate, but how they affect other intimacies, whether that's sexual, physical, whether that's emotional, friendship, and sort of this closeness sort of type of intimacy. And that's what I'm thinking about. And I'm also thinking about, how it contours themes of sort of like, care and joy, particularly with Black women and Black women's friendships. So yeah, all of that is in this one document, and I feel really proud. I do feel really proud because I've worked really hard. I am someone who's living with a chronic illness. I'm someone who lives with depression and generalized anxiety. I am also very blessed in that, yes, life can be difficult, but I do have a support system, and that is really something, especially in the PhD process. Doing it without any sort of support system is really, really hard. So if you don't have a support system, I feel for you. And if there's any way you can find one, I would highly recommend that. So it's just a difficult process. It's a real difficult process. And I don't think for me, it's not that I was naive about how difficult it was. I just wasn't entirely sure about what sort of type, or again, what type of contour of difficulty it would be. So getting to this point, particularly after I've explained in other, the school bell, the children are back at school. Getting to this point, particularly after some of the issues that I have had with supervisors, with long COVID, just with trying to exist on Plague Island on this rapidly failed state, has been a lot. So I feel really proud that I got here. And still I rise. So today, what am I doing? I'm going to do my final sort of edits that I have to do. The other day, I just took some photos because I had a friend who wanted to read it, so I printed it out and gave her that one. So I took photos when I went through by hand. It's so crazy because how is it that I will have read through this thing multiple times on my laptop, and then I print it out and suddenly things are jumping out at me that I didn't see? How is that working? So today my plan is to do those edits, compile it into a Word document, compile it into a PDF, finally write out the final stage I have to do, which is basically just like a timeline, not like a specific timeline, but a timeline from now to the submission date of what I'm going to do and when, and then I'm going to send it off to the JJs, my supervisors. I can't wait, because after I do this, after today, I'm that's me taking out my brain. I'm taking it out. I'm doing bimbo life. I'm doing -10 brain cells. I don't want to think about anything. I'm just gonna really relax, and I'm excited to just do whatever. I'm excited to actually, I feel, work in the cadence of a part-time student. I only work 3 days a week, but I think I can be quite productive in those 3 days. I say productive because I hate that term. I hate that concept. I hate all the productivity content. I do not dream of labor. I don't love this sort of hustle culture of constantly pushing and working and working and working. Ugh. But all that's to say is that I have realized that what the work that I can do when I have only a limited amount of time is a lot of work. which is also kind of nice because at the beginning of my long COVID diagnosis and when I first had long COVID, the brain fog was really brain fogging, and it was really difficult to get through work at sort of like the speed that I was accustomed to before I got ill. So yeah, let's get into it.
Because it's still got helium in it. Whenever she's really annoying, I just tug on it gently and she's like, no.
Not the balloon.
A predator.
Okay, but actually, let's get started because I'm submitting this by 2 p.m. whether I like it or not.
That's fine.
So I have been working for the last couple of hours with Lizzie, co-working together. And the two things I had to do was just a few edits and then my chapter outlines and then also my timeline. And I've done that now. So now I'm gonna create a PDF version and a Word doc version, and I'm gonna send it to my supervisors. I am about to send this off. I'm about to send it off. I can't breathe. I don't know why this feels so, it just feels very exciting. I'm about to send it off. It is 63 words. 15,685 words are the words that I have written. And there's 22,000 words with everything included, like the footnotes. The most exciting parts for me actually were doing my perspective chapter outline, as you can see here. And then also my timeline, which is just, it's just crazy. But yeah, I'm about to submit it. And with that, I guess this concludes the Road to Upgrade diaries. I think I'm definitely gonna take a break. As I said before, I'm feeling very tired, but thank you so much for following along. Thank you to myself for getting it done. And I think my next videos will be, I don't know, I'm not sure what they'll be. I do have a residential fellowship coming up as part of my PhD, where I will be moving abroad. So I definitely think that I'm probably going to vlog that. But until then, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. I want to be able to look back on this period.